Hey Alex, I got one for you. And then now you can be 100% transparent. What do you believe is the hardest part about investing? Either real estate, stocks, businesses, whatever. What do you think is the hardest part about investing?
Dang, that's a deep one. That's deep. I think, and not to try to sound like dramatic here, I think the hardest part, honestly, it's not coming up with the budget. It's not making the sacrifice to not spend on clothes and going out. Because all that stuff, honestly, like I don't, I'm not one of those people that constantly feels like I have to go out and I have to spend money and I have to do this. Like my brain, the way it's wired, I really enjoy investing and watching my money grow. So that is where I want my money to go. I just want to see it grow. I love it. So it's not that. The hardest part to me is having this mentality and having my eyes set so accurately on my goal and knowing where I will be, because when you start to invest, you are practically taking control of your life. It's not that I hope I will be in this position in my future. It's I know I will be. So I know I will be here or wherever in my future, and the people I wish were there with me won't be. So it's that.
Huh.
It's the friends, it's the family that, I mean, you see it, like, I mean, it's frustrating seeing like the Tate brothers, like how close they are, how they've built, this empire basically. Or you see on, there's a couple others. I mean, you see like the Graham Steffens and his crew, and then you see like, Meet Kevin and like all the YouTubers, like they've got like their friendship group where they're working towards the same goal and they can enjoy life on their terms because they've created it themselves. But it's like, I mean, there's not many people other than you and my wife. There's not many people that are on the same path. So it's like it's kind of that wish of like I wish that there was more people on the same road, but it's just not reality.
Yeah, you went way deeper than I was thinking. I know. To piggyback what you say, yeah, that is the hardest part. I mean, I find myself doing it, and I find myself reaching back out to old friends, family members, people that I knew, every now and then, you feel like, hey, maybe I can pull somebody up from, the old neighborhood to try to get them focused. But I started deterring myself from doing that because every time I try to reach out to, lift somebody up, it always became they thought I was their new ATM machine. So, yeah, so I understand wholeheartedly where you're coming from with that, and that's the reality of it. When you're investing in this game and you're trying to, uplift your life and you bring in more money, it gets lonely. Success is a lonely road. That's why everybody don't do it because people can't go at it nomad by themselves. They just can't. Um, for me, the hardest part, and yeah, you went super deep on that one. For me, the hardest part of investing, you know, people usually say, "Oh man, I don't understand it. I can't study it." It's not about picking the stocks. It's not buying or selling stocks or businesses. The hardest part to me is the emotions of it. The emotions of it. And I think that's the hardest part for everybody. Once you master the emotions of investing, it's life come much easier. I mean, the hard part is being patient. I've been in stocks that's been underwater for 2 and 3 years. And then after that, then it went to the upside expeditiously. uh, sitting there waiting, especially when you first get there and become, invest in the stock market or invest in real estate. Invest in real estate, you checking Zillow every week to see if the value went up. Really, that's not even what controls the value. When you invest in the stocks, You sitting there staring at the damn tickers, always checking on your phone every 5 seconds to see if it went up or down or whatever, and then you getting impatient, and then just sitting there and just not selling. Be willing to say, "Hey, I did the work. Trust in the work that you did." The market can be irrational. People need to understand the market can be irrational. You can be in a perfect stock and for like I said, years it's just sitting there dormant. But then when it gets out of that dormant state, it takes off. I've been in those situations. So those are the hardest part. Controlling the emotions of it is the hardest part, and people just can't control their emotions. I mean, I've talked to people, and then they was in stock. I'm not gonna say the name of the stock, but they was in the stock, and then I'm like, the stock went up maybe like 40%, and then I was like, oh, you still want to sit here and hold the stock while it's you still got all this other debt holding over your head? And then it was like, yeah, it's going to the moon. I was like, you getting too emotional about it. And then I broke down the analysis why it didn't, and then it sit there, and then it proceeded to drop back down. And then when it drops down, then they want to sell it. I'm like, now you just make an emotional decision. Like now you're thinking about all the debt you could have paid off when you should have been thinking about that when it was going up, and you just thought it wasn't going to come down. Anybody that's paid attention to the stock market history, what goes up, it will come down. It might not go past where you bought it at, but it's not going to go in a straight line up. But people can't control their emotions. That's why they sit there and put themselves in very bad situations and in the stock market, in business, and everything. They too emotionally charged when they're doing this. And I understand it's money. They put in their maybe their life savings in it. But that's why they always give you the disclaimer: invest what you're willing to lose. And then as the more you educate yourself, the more you get knowledge, the more your risk tolerance goes up. Your risk tolerance don't supposed to go up. Oh, I just have more money, so my risk tolerance goes up. No, it should be the more educated, the more informed you is, your risk tolerance should go up. I remember when I started, shoot, the stock could go down a penny. I'm over here hand over the sale button. But now, I mean, stocks can, I can have, 20, $30,000 swings in a day, and I just be like, oh, okay, it'll come back. I ain't worried about it. Oh, I invest more. But that's what it is because I gain more knowledge and aptitude of what's going on in the stock market. But I think that's the hardest part about investing. People don't want to continually learn and continually educate themselves, and then they're too emotionally charged about investments, and that's what sets everybody up for failure, especially the new investors and things like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I think, yeah, difficulty wise, I think that is one that you have to master early on to become successful. And I think controlling emotions because we're human is one that you're always gonna have to face. I mean, I remember we did a video and you even said that you still feel those emotions at points, but you have to flip the switch and remind yourself, okay, do the exact opposite of how I'm feeling. And I mean, it happens to all of us. I mean, but it's a matter of building that discipline and doing the homework, doing the research, being confident in the work that you did. Like you said, you've had big swings. I've had big swings, and I've told people some of my swings on the down days, and they're like, "How are you okay with that?" And it's just, I just know it's gonna come back. I'm not stressed out about it. On a difficulty standpoint, I think emotions is the hardest, but from my point, why I say it's the hardest is it's because I think it's one that you can't control. So like you can control your emotions, you can control your budget, you can control how much you're contributing to investments, but you can't control how the how the stupid people that you wish would act better would act. So that's why I say it's the hardest from my standpoint.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, your point was very valid. I mean, it was deep. It was morbid. It was it's everything I think about every day. But yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, I wish I can just go and just be like call people up and be like, hey, let's go do this. But they can. I know they can't afford it, and I choose not to be around people who make bad financial decisions. It's just a choice of mine. Me, I'll go visit you, and then when I go visit people, they want to have the whole spread out, and hey, we're gonna do this because they think that's what my lifestyle is, and I get there and I'm like, no, let's only do what you do on a normal everyday basis. Don't do nothing extra. Don't spread yourself thin. I just, want to be in the company. I don't, the days of me hoping and wishing and praying that people would, level up, they 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 fading fast. I'm just gonna be honest with you, they fading fast. But I'm not gonna dumb down my life for them. I can, spend a day or two, hang out with them, and then I'm gonna go back to my normal world. But sitting there hoping and wishing and praying that they would figure it out so we can just call up and be like, hey, let's go do that. Let's go do this. I'm not a person who can sit here and plan for a cruise 3 years from now on payment plans. I can't live that life. If we going next week, maybe next month at the max. But I can't live that life. I mean, 3 months from now, I'll be doing something totally different. I'm not thinking about no, cruise to the Caribbeans or the Bahamas or wherever the hell these people go these days. I'm not thinking about that. I'm not about to be saving all my nickels and dimes to be like, oh man, I can't wait for this cruise. It's about to be lit. No, I go on a cruise tomorrow. Why am I waiting 3 years or 2 years from now, 3 years from now to go on a cruise? No, I ain't got time for that.
With all that being said, guys, if you have any questions or if you have an opinion, maybe if you invest, let us know what you think is the most difficult thing. Don't forget to share this video, subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you guys on the next one.